Welcome to Root and Rewire, a grounded, mystical space for awakening, remembering, and becoming. I'm Kayla, and here we explore the shifts, the stories, and the synchronicities that reshape us from the inside out, along with the mystical, the unseen, and the magic that's woven into everyday life. Take a deep breath, soften into yourself, and let's begin. Hello, welcome to another episode of Root and Rewire. Before I was recording, I wasn't even going to record today, but I normally try to plan out what I want the episode to be about based off of what I've been learning or experiencing. And this topic that I'm speaking about today, it was one that I just couldn't wait for my normal podcast day, and I'm so happy that I just have the time now to record it. I feel very activated on this topic, and I'm really happy to bring it to you. So, as you guys know, I am going through an identity shift after my partner and I decided to split after a few years. And the first time that I went through a heartbreak, I didn't start dating until I was 20 years old. That's when I had my first boyfriend, and we were together for 4.5, close to 5 years. And when that relationship ended, I was just really excited to date. I really wanted to get to know new people and see what was out there because I had never had that experience before. This last breakup has inspired something totally different in me, in a place where I'm not really thinking about dating. I don't plan to date anytime soon. I'm really just using this time to dive more into topics that I had been working on for the past few years, and self-love and learning about topics that really light me up, and embodiment and the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine and union, divine union, and diving more into my body and my soul than I feel like I ever have before. And it's been such a magical experience, a very magnetic experience, and I'm learning so much about myself, so much about my soul, so much about my ancestors, so much about my power and my magic and what lights me up and what I'm here to do. And this podcast, even though I started this before my breakup, this is something that I feel like I'm here to do. I've never been able to find something that allows me to express myself in a way that feels authentic to me. And I feel like I'm getting the hang of this thing. I hope I'm getting the hang of this thing. At least I feel a lot more comfortable doing it. So all this to say, I wanted to dive into the sacred feminine today and really explore, what is the sacred feminine? What does it feel like? And the reason that I was really sparked by this topic, after my boyfriend and I broke up, I'm very into tuning into my emotions, very into tapping into my emotions, feeling it, releasing it. It was harder for me this time, and I really just wanted to distract myself for a bit because I am such a loving person. And if I just sat in the grief and in the hurt, then I know that I would cave to what my nervous system wanted, and it was the pattern recognition of that relationship. So I knew it was for me to do things that I haven't done before, but always have wanted to do. And I did take an aerial class and I really fell in love with aerial, but I've always wanted to do poling and pole dancing. And I started really diving into that. And the studio that I go to for practice, they have all sorts of classes available. And one of the classes that I found on there was an art of sensuality class. And I was like, this is speaking my language. This is perfect for me. And I asked my neighbor if she wanted to come, and she did come with me. When I walked into the space, it felt different. It felt charged and activating in a way that I have never experienced before. I stepped in and I knew that this was going to be a radical moment for me. And I did go in feeling open. I had all these preconceived notions of what this class would be and what I'm going to allow myself to do. And I really went in thinking, okay, new experience. I'm going for it. I'm just going to allow myself to be open and explore. And we walked in, the space was beautiful. It was just her and I. And that made me feel even more excited because I was like, oh God, I don't know what we're going to do in this class, but it's great to know that it's with somebody that I'm comfortable with and it's not a whole bunch of other people. So great scene for me to really step into something that I've never done before. And of course, we started the class with just getting to know our instructor, and she was so beautiful, so amazing. And after the warm up, we started moving into expressing ourselves through our bodies. How does our soul want to express right now? And she took us through a lot of different movements that is very feminine, very what you would think is natural. And I could not do it. I was doing these motions and I was just thinking to myself, why am I so uncomfortable with doing this? This is something that I do at home. You know, I love to dance in the mirror and just, touch my body and move my hips and look myself in the eyes and really just allow myself to express my soul. But here I am with two other women that are so beautiful, so accommodating, so open. And I immediately just wanted to recede. I wanted to take myself back. I wanted to blend in. I wanted to hide. After we did the first part of the movements, which is really just like walking towards the mirror, really touching our arms and our neck and our face and our head and moving our fingers in a way that was slow. After we started, our instructor was just asking us, how is this experience for you? Do you have any questions? What are you feeling? And without thinking, I just said out loud, I was like, why am I so uncomfortable? And I said, this is something that I feel like I do all the time. I do it in my house, but here I am with other women and I feel scared. I feel uncomfortable. And she told me, she was like, you are not the first one to say this. She's like, I've been doing this class for a while and so many women come in here and they express the same thing. Or I could just see in them that they want to hide. They don't feel comfortable, or they just haven't moved themselves in this way before. They haven't touched themselves in this way before. And after she said that, I was like, that's really interesting. Just as women, being in our bodies and naturally being feminine, having this feeling of wanting to express and create and move and not tapping into that. What the hell is that? That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. And honestly, we could tap into why we are this way, why there's so many women that don't feel comfortable expressing themselves. And there's many generations of trauma that we can dive into. But after she said this, I told myself, I looked at myself in the mirror before we began again. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, Kayla, we are here now. And you are here for a reason. You need to do this. Just allow yourself to be. And it was like in that moment, I could feel my ancestors. I could feel the women in my lineage, and they were telling me, do this for us. Do this for us. Express yourself. And they were rooting for me. They were cheering for me. It was like they were expressing themselves through me, not being able to express themselves in this way before and allowing them to experience it through me. And I decided I will not shrink. I'm going to stay. I'm going to allow myself to be as free as I can in this hour time slot that I have. And it wasn't even like, obviously, when it comes to sensuality, we think of sexy, we think of soft, sexy, passionate. But for me, it really just felt like aliveness. I felt alive on such a different level. Being able to dance and move with these women, it felt ancestral. It felt beautiful. And what surprised me the most was this aliveness wasn't chaotic. It was grounded. And through this class, even after leaving this class, it did not fade. In fact, it has only grown and expanded in me. Before, honestly, I would have told myself, I'm not the best dancer. Okay. I don't even know if I would tell myself that I'm coordinated. But after leaving the class and putting on some music and coming home and dancing days afterwards, it felt like my hips were moving more aligned than they ever had before. It was like I was able to express without thinking. My body was just moving. And this sensuality, this feeling of aliveness only has continued to grow within me. In the beginning of my breakup, I was thinking about it as loss. I was feeling a lot of grief. But now I'm realizing even the reason why I left all had to do with reclamation. Standing firm in myself, declaring my power, and choosing myself, and making the decision to not abandon myself anymore. And it was almost like it surged this authentic power in me. And this relational energy that I had, it had somewhere to go before, right? I had a partner, and in this container, this energy only flowed between he and I, but it was an energy that was contained. It was an energy that was performative. Now that I don't have that relational energy to really spark it within me, the energy had to return to myself. And making that declaration of choosing myself by leaving that relationship removed the audience. And the sensual energy that didn't have any direction before turned inward. And I realized that breakup was my initiation. So this really sparked me wanting to understand the sacred feminine and understand it at a deeper level. And I didn't want to define the sacred feminine academically. I really wanted to define it in my own way. I didn't want to come on here and just quote mythology and make it aesthetic and cutesy. I want to define it through what I felt. For me, the sacred feminine is a life force that does not apologize. It's this type of sensuality without direction. It's not aimed at anyone. It's not trying to attract anyone. It's not trying to be validated. It is just there, alive, in our bodies naturally. It's this presence without performance. And I think that's the piece that really hit me. It's the piece that I felt when I was in my class. I wasn't performing sensuality. I wasn't thinking about learning this for a man. I wasn't trying to look a certain way. I wasn't trying to be desirable. I was just inhabiting myself. And in that moment, I declared the sacred feminine to run through me, express itself through me. It's been here all along. I've been feeling this creative, powerful energy all along, but I was expressing it as performance. Now I declared for it to move without, to just be inside of me. And there's something so incredibly powerful about being in your body without leaking your energy outward. Sacred feminine, for me, feels like aliveness without an audience. It's not about being watched. It's about being with yourself. It's about being turned on by your own existence, by your breath, by your hips moving slowly, your feet touching the floor, by your own presence. This energy, it's not loud, it's not aggressive, it doesn't demand any attention. Instead, it hums. I almost think of it like an ancestral beat on a drum. That hum feels ancient. It feels like something that was always there, just buried under conditioning. And that's what this experience for me, the sacred feminine, feels like. Not becoming someone new, but remembering someone and something real. And I think that's why I felt my ancestors with me, because this energy, obviously, it's born within all of us. But do we express it? Do we allow ourselves to create? Do we allow ourselves to be soft? Do we allow ourselves to be expressive? Or are we continuously surrounding ourselves with people we have to perform for people that don't allow this expansive energy to become alive? And the reason this matters is because so many of us, and I can say this was real for me as well, are disconnected from our bodies. We disassociate without even realizing it. We constantly leak our energy outward, trying to be liked, trying to be attractive, trying to be chosen, trying to be palatable. We perform desirability. We perform black cat energy. We suppress our own intensity. We tone it down. And then we call exhaustion normal. We call anxiety normal. We call feeling numb normal. But I'm starting to see that what we call normal is often just chronic suppression. Because when life force comes back online, it doesn't feel chaotic, it doesn't feel manic, it doesn't feel unstable. It feels magnetic, grounded, calm but charged. It feels presence. There's a steadiness to it. And ever since this experience, I think it's been 2 weeks now, I feel slower. I feel way more intentional, even just the way that I pick up my cup of coffee in the morning, the way that I sip it in the morning, the way that I sit and I eat my breakfast in silence and I'm staring at my plate and I'm thanking my food. I feel more integrated with life. The trees are breathing around me. The grass is moving beneath my feet. I can feel my dog as he lays his head on my lap. I don't think it's because I learned something new. I think it's because I made that choice to stop abandoning myself, to stop shrinking myself, to stop trying to make myself digestible, to stop trying to make myself alluring. And I really believe that when we stop abandoning ourselves, when we're just totally fucking honest with ourselves, your energy starts to return. Your natural energy, the energy that's been lingering there, that's been sitting in there, moving in there, churning in there. Your body comes back online. Your spirit, your nervous system, it's all connected. You're allowing me to be safe. I feel safe now, so I choose to express through you. And that's where the aliveness starts to deepen. I know that this isn't a long episode. I didn't really intend for it to be. I really wanted to come on here and share my experience with you and this process of this reclamation and the divine feminine, the sacred feminine, and really start to talk about this journey with you. And I'm really diving more into the sacred feminine, not just defining it by what I'm feeling, but I'm reading some books and I'm listening to some podcasts, and I'm really trying to understand why this is so ancient. And it's really taking me into all the archetypes that I'm really excited to talk about to you next time as well. If not next time, then sometime. So maybe this idea, maybe the sacred feminine isn't something that we have to go find. It's not something to go searching for. Maybe we don't find the answer in a book. Maybe we don't find the answer in a ritual. Maybe it's not in an aesthetic. It's something that returns when we stop shrinking. When we make the choice to feel and sit in our own power. It comes back when we stop apologizing for taking up space. Holy shit. Like, I wish it's crazy to me that this is now, I'm finally at a place where I understand it. The sacred feminine is maybe something that rises when we stay instead of pulling our energy back. For me, this didn't start as just empowerment. It started as a moment where I almost made myself smaller. And instead, I stayed. I made the choice to be present, and something in me just woke up. And I don't think that healing is about becoming more. I think a part of it has to do with learning to leak less. And about remembering that our aliveness was never dangerous. In fact, it's powerful. And the sacred feminine is what returns when we finally feel safe enough to inhabit ourselves fully. And what that feels like is coming home. I believe in the spiritual realm, the energetic realm. I believe that our spirit team and our ancestors, our higher self, source, is always with us. And in a moment, if you feel yourself shifting, if you need to make a choice that you feel like is big, call upon them to guide, to remove the blinders, to bring in clarity. Because the truth already lays within us. Everything that we are seeking is already within us. Our soul knows. So the intention is taking time to listen, taking time to learn yourself, to slow down, and to choose to be present. I really, really hope that you guys got something from this episode. Oh, I love this episode. I love it. I'm going to listen to this episode 10, 15 million times on my own. And I really hope you enjoyed it. If you want to dive deeper into this topic, if you want to help me learn more, please feel free to leave a comment. I really desire to expand on this topic, and so I am, and I will be back with more, my friends. But that's it for now. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for your support and tuning in today. If this episode supported you and you would like to share, or if you're just looking for someone to connect with, you can find me on Instagram at Soil and Soul Sister. I hope to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. And until next time.